Here we are for part 2 of the easiest renovation ever. Maybe we should codename this the laziest renovation ever. However you want to phrase it, that's what we're doing today. We are in the backyard and we are contending with a couple of different things back here. I talked about slope previously. I talked about a pond. Well, what do you see? We've got a pond. Now, we talked about with the previous application, we kind of wanted to stay away from triclopyr due to volatility and the overhanging vegetation. Same applies here. Could we go with a triclopyr amine? Yes, but then we're dealing with greater toxicity potential for the aquaculture that we have going on here. So instead, we're gonna go with quinclorac. Quinclorac is effective against the wild violets that we have here. And it combined with glyphosate, again, hoping for that synergistic effect to produce an overall greater result from the weed control application. Now, it's not that quinclorac is perfectly non-toxic to vertebrate and fish. We're still going to maintain a certain amount of buffer just to be careful. It's not worth risking. Glyphosate, on the other hand, is actually safe for these types of applications, but again, just to have an overabundance to apply an overabundance of caution, we're going to maintain a safe distance. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's check it out. So we'll take a look at what we have as far as weed pressure back here as well. We have more paspalum varieties. This is a bull paspalum. We have pretty much all nimblewill in the back, and we have a significant amount of the wild violets. Now, as you can see, we also have a little bit of fescue back here too, but the amount of fescue we have is so small, it's not worth trying to preserve. So the easy thing for us to do is just to go ahead, nuke it all. With the slope, that brings about a whole new set of issues, especially when it comes time for seed establishment. But I'm not going to tell you how we're going to handle the slope yet. You'll have to stick around for part 3 for that. Let's go ahead, get this sprayed out, and then we'll follow up with what happened up front. Tenacity sucks. Whoa. Real men don't use those. So it's only been a few days after the initial application, and already it's very obvious that we're getting some good results. So let me show you a couple of things that were missed, and so we're gonna touch those up while we're at it today. You can see some slight patterning in through here of darker green, and we have a line through the center there that is also a dark green. This is Eric's first time making an herbicide application. We practiced in the driveway, and to only miss this much area is pretty freaking awesome. So I'm super pleased with already the amount of activity we're getting. And since we had everything already mixed up, we touched it up today. It's only a few days behind. We're still on perfect schedule to get this done. What's exciting about coming up, we've got the tree company coming out tomorrow. We've got the tree company coming out tomorrow that's going to be putting the absolute hop wallop on this thing. All right, so within the shade, this is one of those observations where we can see we still have some green here, but the reason why is, one, it's a slow growing grass in this time of year, right? This is fine fescue in the heat of Knoxville summer where it's in the mid 90s, 100-degree heat index. It's not going to be growing right now. Therefore, the herbicide is not translocating throughout the plant. The second thing is it's in shade, which is going to further the rate of translocation that's taking place because the shade is affecting the rate of growth, right? So I'm not terribly concerned that we don't see this area just completely smoked out yet. We'll have a little patience. It's going to take a couple of weeks, and that's perfectly okay.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching part 2. Coming up in part 3, we've got a lot of activity going on because we got the trees trimmed up. We're going to be following up on the results we got in the backyard, doing any touch-ups there, and planning for that final application. But the big thing in part 3 is that we're going to be doing a very deep dive on his soil test, and therefore preparing fertility-wise what we need to be doing when we start establishing seed. Now, we have the slope to contend with, and so in part 3, we'll reveal how we're going to be contending with that slope. Remember, we're doing this as cheaply as we possibly can with the least amount of effort as we possibly can to get the greatest overall result. So there's some give and take there, and there's a method that we're going to employ with seed establishment that we can get great results and not have to bust our backstab to get it done. Stick around for part 3. By the way, on Sundays, we record the Burn and Return podcast. Check your favorite podcast apps. It actually gets released on Wednesday to the public. However, if you're a channel member, you get access to that early. Also, on Thursday, we have Thirsty Thursday, the live stream. If you want to check out some of the merch we have in the store, you can head over to thegrassfactor.tv. We've added a new tools section to the website where you can go in and check on some of the tools that I've put together that I used while I was out in the field, including roll your own herbicide databases and also some pre-emergent programs and even the nutrient removal rate based off your weather data, which is basically just a rip-off, but a prettier, easier to follow form of Pace Turf's climate appraisal form. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip side.